Last night was electric, but tonight decides if it meant anything. Today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Boonie. One name, like Madonna, Prince, maybe Sting, all passion. If you're looking for a podcast that sugarcoats things or treats the A's like a side note, buddy, you took a wrong turn. But if you want real talk, real insight, and a daily dose of green and gold fire, you are home. I'm a Bay Area native, and I've been bleeding A's green since '81. This isn't just another A's podcast. It's the most locked in, fired up, insightful A's show out there, period. We're breaking down every game, every move, every whisper from Sacramento to Vegas like it actually matters, because it does. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube. So smash that subscribe button like Nick Kurtz smashed that walk-off bomb last night. And let's talk A's baseball like it's supposed to be talked about. Loud, proud, and unfiltered. All right, A's fans, let's go. You can keep your losing streak stats, your quote-unquote, they are done headlines, and your lazy narratives from national media that haven't watched a single pitch of this team in a month. Because, well, they were counting us out during 11 straight losses, then 9 more, and losing 20 of 21. I was here. You were here, pounding the table, saying the words every fan base dreams of. This team ain't dead yet. And now, here we are, just 8 games out of a wild card spot with a lot more fight left. I've already walked you through the biggest comebacks in MLB history, and trust me, the script is starting to feel familiar. You better believe I'm watching the standings. I'm watching the schedules, and more importantly, I'm watching who's about to crumble under the pressure, because somebody's got to break. And it's not going to be the green and gold. But first, Nick Kurtz, last night's walk-off, that was a moonshot from the baseball gods. I'm still buzzing. But you know the truth. If we don't back it up tonight, the bomb turns into a highlight reel without context. I'm going to tell you why this game tonight is the most winnable of the entire homestand, and why losing it would be a gut punch we cannot afford. Oh, and remember that off-season trade for Jeffrey Springs? We're breaking it down after the break. Let's ride. First pitch tonight, 7:05 p.m. JP Sears and Jason Alexander. And it is the most critical game of the series, the most winnable game. Yesterday, we faced Ryan Gusto. Ryan Gusto should not have been pitching last night. Starting last night should have been Lance McCullers, who we faced in Houston. He struck out 12 athletic batters. He was absolutely brilliant. Well, Lance McCullers had a freak accident exercising, and which landed him on the 15-day IL. Ryan Gusto got moved up. You guys remember Jason Alexander? Jason Alexander pitched with the A's, got called up on 2 different occasions. For most of the season, he was with AAA Las Vegas. He was good in Vegas, right? He's a journeyman. But when he got called up, he got roughed up pretty bad to major league pitching. In the tone of 4 games, 6 innings pitched, 12 hits, 12 earned runs, 13 runs, 5 walks, and 5 Ks. Why am I bringing up Jason Alexander? Well, we DFA'd Jason Alexander, and the Houston Astros claimed him. And tonight, who are the Houston Astros starting pitcher? Jason Alexander. Starting for the A's is JP Sears. JP Sears did face the Astros earlier on this year, and he got roughed up in the tone of 3 1/3 innings, 10 hits, 9 earned runs, 9 runs, 1 walk, 1 K. His worst outing of the year by far. JP Sears still, in my opinion, is our best pitcher. He is our guy. And if there's anybody that's going to bounce back and want Houston, it's JP Sears. Based on what happened to him last time. This game couldn't be any more important. For us to come back and back the win up from last night, we got to take care of business. How we perform tonight is going to show a lot of maturity from this team, who we are, how we approach Jason Alexander and the Astros. The first reaction that scares me a little bit is we're going to overlook him. We're going to overlook Alexander and think it's going to be a cakewalk. That's going to be the biggest mistake we make. If we come out and we have disciplined at bats, treat this like it's a playoff game, like it basically is. The rest of the season basically is at that point. We got to have that same type of motivation, that same type of sense of urgency, no matter who we are facing. The one thing you can't do in sports, whether it be Major League Baseball or any other Major League franchise, is you cannot underestimate your opponent. For as electric as last night was, and it was, it doesn't mean a whole lot if we can't take care of business tonight. Another big part about tonight is it shows the maturity of this team. This is a very, very gettable game. The odds makers surprisingly have us as underdogs in this game, which I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised of what it is. Excuse me. Here's an interesting take with regard to the odds maker. Line opened up at Astros minus 145, over under, with the under favored at 12.5. Right now, it is Astros minus 120, meaning the action's being bet on the A's, and the over-under is 10.5, minus 125, meaning the under is being bet down. So interesting to see what the public thinks, right? The public obviously thinks the A's are going to get this one based on Jason Alexander, what he has done. It's almost a coin flip with regard to how the odds makers are looking at this game. Jason Alexander's stats, man, in an 18 ERA, a 2.83 whip, 6 innings pitched, like I mentioned, 12 hits, 5 Ks, 5 base on balls. He's given up 3 bombs. He's pitched in Sutter Health. He's gotten rocked. This game can't be any more important. And again, the competitor JP Sears is, with what happened to him last time in Houston, I expect him to have himself an outing. The whole thing is, are we going to get to Alexander? Are we going to hit situation? Are we going to hit with runners in scoring position? This game could not be any more critical. What I want to do, and also, here's another reason. You know who the A's face tomorrow? Francisco Valdez. Probably the Astros' second best pitcher to Hunter Brown. I mean, the guy's a stud. And he goes against Luis Severino. And we all know how Luis Severino has done on the road. And on Thursday, we are facing Colton Gordon. Colton Gordon, you ask who he is. He's only a guy who's only given up 3 runs in his last 11 innings. He's been good. He's been effective against Jacob Lopez. Speaking of Jacob Lopez, he came over in a trade. The only trade we made this offseason. He came over with the big name of the trade, Jeffrey Springs. I want to revisit that trade. I want to see exactly who we gave up, and obviously we know who we got in return, and how that trade has worked out for both teams thus far in the season. Up next. If you are in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical and still driving around town for parts, you're doing it the hard way. Skip the traffic, skip the hold music, and get what you need from the site built for the trades. Supply House. Their website, slicker than a freshly soldered pipe. It's stacked with over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands. Whether you are fixing a furnace in Fargo or wiring a warehouse in Wichita, they've got it. Ship fast, coast to coast. Need help? You get a real human on the phone. No robots, no press one for regret. And if you are a trade pro, their free Trademaster program is basically cheat mode. Think a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and sweet discounts. So here's the move. Head to supplyhouse.com/TM and use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com, because pros don't wait, they order smart. Back on December 14th, 2024, the A's made a deal that flew under the radar at the time. But folks, it's time to revisit it with a magnifying glass and a blowtorch, because now we have some real data, real performances, and real results. What was the trade? The A's acquired left-handers Jeffrey Springs and Jacob Lopez from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. In return, they gave up Joe Boyle, who was featured in the trade as far as from the A's side of things, 6'8", flame-throwing right-hander, Will Simpson, power-hitting first baseman, and Jacob Waters, right-handed arm, and of course a competitive, balanced round A draft pick. So what's the verdict? Who's winning this trade? Who's getting fleeced? Let's break it down. Let's start with what we gave up. And one name in the deal stands out, right? It was Joe Boyle. The dude looks like he was engineered in a baseball lab. 6'8", gas for days, and enough wipeout stuff to make hitters rethink their career choices. He's only made one big league start so far for the Rays. But what a start it was. 5 innings, no earned runs, 7 Ks, 2 walks, a glimpse of what could be, or what might have been, right? But here's where he's really cooked, is in AAA Durham. And let me tell you, he's been unhittable. 12 starts, 59 innings, 31 hits, only 31 hits in 59 innings, 73 Ks. And what he struggled with the A's was walks, and he's only walked 24 so far in 59 innings. ERA, get this, 1.53. That's video game stuff. That's maybe we messed up stuff. Now, Jacob Waters, not so much, right? The 2022 fourth rounder is hanging around in Double-A with a bloated ERA of 4.87 over 20 innings. That's a lottery ticket that hasn't cashed yet. Will Simpson, who was once a breakout bat in the A's system, mostly for Double-A Lansing, has been absolutely lost since the trade. In Double-A, he's batting 171 and 193 at-bats with a limp 514 OPS. It's not a slump, that's a spiral. If Tampa thought they were getting a power bat, they might have already been regretting it. And of course, there's the comp round A pick, which hasn't materialized yet. Could be a future all-star. Who knows? Could be the next Jeremy Jambi. Who knows? We just don't know about that one yet. Now, who did we get? Obviously, right? Springs and Lopez. At first, it was rocky. No sugarcoating. Jeffrey Springs had a real good start to the season in Seattle. He came in not quite right after Tommy John surgery. Jacob Lopez looked like a bullpen innings eater that started the year in AAA Vegas, not a big league piece and definitely not a rotation piece. But fast forward to now, both are in the starting rotation and both are dealing. Springs seems like he has found his rhythm. He's getting stronger. The fastball in the last start we saw around 93 miles per hour. At the beginning of the season, he was around 89, 90, 91. It's critical for a pitcher like Jeffrey Springs, whose strikeout pitch is a changeup, right? A guy like Jeffrey Springs, when he's showing you 93 on a fastball, that changeup looks a lot more lethal than his fastballs around 89, 90. It looks like he's finally found, like I said, found his rhythm. He's mixing that changeup like a cocktail shaker. The velo's not elite, but the command is, and the velo's gotten better. He's given us quality starts when we needed them most, right? He's keeping us in games when our offense was still on spring break. But the real surprise, the real deal on this trade, and the surprise that, for me, determines who's a winner and loser in this trade is Jacob Lopez, man. Jacob Lopez is absolutely leveled up, man. How about his last outing in Kansas City? I don't know what pitching coach whispered in his ear, but ever since May, he's been blowing away hitters with strikeout stuff we didn't even know existed. On the gun, it doesn't look like he throws extremely hard, 91, 92 maybe, but that velocity, I mean, he's striking out batters left and right, locating with precision, and he is looking right now like a legitimate number 4 starter on the A's squad. Not just a hope and pray depth piece. I'm talking a rotation staple. The kind of arm that makes you forget who you gave up. The kind of guy you want starting game 2 of a postseason series. Yeah, I said it. He has looked that good. He looked great against the Phillies. He looked great against the Twins. Sure, he's made a couple mistakes here and there. That's cost the A's dearly. But I mean, look at what he did against the Royals on Saturday. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The final verdict, who won the trade? Let's be real. Joe Boyle looks like a stud, man, and he might haunt us for the next decade. He's the kind of guy that throws 101, breaks a bat with a stare, and makes pitching ninja videos on YouTube. But the rest of the package? Waters? Nah, not really. Simpson looks cooked. The draft pick obviously is a mystery wrapped up in a big maybe. Meanwhile, we got 2 big league lefties, one stabilizing the rotation and one absolutely breaking out. In a year when Mason Miller is dominating the 9th and our core is finally coming alive, these arms matter more than prospects ever could. So for now, let's call it a push. But if Lopez keeps ascending and Springs keeps stabilizing, we might look at this sneaky win. We might look at this as a sneaky win for David Forst and the green and gold, man. It's time to talk playoffs. It's time to talk wild card. It's time to talk strength of schedule. Up next. If you run a business, you already know missing a call is basically handing money to your competition. Think about it. Last time your sink exploded or your car broke down and the first number didn't answer, did you leave a voicemail and wait patiently? Absolutely not. You hit next faster than a TikTok skip. That's exactly what your customers are doing if you don't have a reliable phone system. That's why I jumped on Open Phone. Here's the deal. Open Phone is like having a full-on communication command center right in your pocket. One app, one number. No more carrying 2 phones like you're starring in Narcos. I keep personal and business calls totally separate without juggling devices like a magician on a deadline. And get this, my entire team shares a single business number like it's a group chat, but with actual accountability. No more, hey, did anyone respond to that guy who wanted to spend money with us? Plus, the AI assistant works overtime. After hours, it's still answering questions, capturing leads, and making sure We never ghost a paying customer. Open Phone turned my phone from a notification nightmare into a money-making machine. Bill, how you doing, bud? How many more years is Springs under control? So we have him this year and next year. I believe each year he's earning, I want to say 10.5 million. After next year, it's a team option and it's expensive. It jumps to like, I'm going off memory, top of my head, I want to say like 14, 15 million, right? So, I don't know. I don't know if we, I think that team option, do we go 15 million in year 3? That's the whole question. To be announced. We'll see. But that's what we're looking at. We're looking at this year, next year. Again, like I said, I think around 10.5 million a year, and then a team option. And I know his salary jumps up in 2027. And again, that's up to the team. What's up, D35? I'm glad we had our bad month early in the season. We're not looking back. I sure hope you're right, man. Tonight's a big one, bud. Real big one. And speaking of big ones, man, it's time to talk strength of schedule. That's right, man. Forget the vibes. Forget the momentum. Forget the moral victories. If the A's are going to crash the wild card party this year, we got to know who we're chasing and just how steep the damn mountain is. The 3 teams that would be in the wild card right now, right, would be the Tampa Bay Rays, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Boston, I just traded away my best player, Red Sox. The Yankees, they're clinging to a 2.5 game lead in the East. Tigers, 9 games up. They should take the Central. And in the West, you have the Astros holding court with a 4.5 game lead. But we've seen that movie before. It's never over in the AL West until it's over, right? Behind the wild card bubble, the real fun begins. It's a dogfight, a barroom brawl. Seattle, half game out. Twins, right there. Texas and Cleveland in the thick. Angels, Royals, Orioles, close enough to breathe on the bubble. And your A's, like I've said, 8 games out. 8 games may sound like a lot until you remember 2011, until you remember 1978, until you remember that I've been saying for weeks that this team isn't dead yet. Let's talk brass tacks, right? The A's aren't just trying to climb Mount Everest. They're doing it in flip-flops with a sandbag tied to their backs. According to the current win-loss records, the A's have the second toughest remaining schedule in all of Major League Baseball. Only the Orioles, yes, the team that's been outscored by a drumline, have it worse. The A's, 6 games against the Tigers and Rays, 2 playoff-bound buzzsaws, 3 games against the Yankees, Giants, and Blue Jays, all capable of bearing you by the 3rd inning. Well, the good news, if you would call it that, 3 against the Pirates, Nationals, Orioles, Braves, and Royals, and 6, count them 6 games against the Angels, who we have not beaten in 7 tries. There's no cupcake matchups here, none. Not for a team that's still figuring out which version of self is going to show up every night. Now, here's where it gets infuriating, man. The teams we're chasing, they've got it easy, like beach chair in the sun easy. Let me hit you with the rankings based on strength of schedule, 1 being hardest and 30 being a nap. Angels, 9th toughest. Red Sox, 10th. Royals, 14th. Rangers, 15th. Twins, 18th. Rays, 19th. Blue Jays, 21st. Guardians, 26th. Astros, 29. Basically coasting down a water slide at this point. The A's sitting at number 2. So here's the deal, man. The hill is steep. The odds are long, but this is baseball. And you only need a spark to start a damn fire. The A's can split the tough matchups and dominate the easy ones, not like there are any. Then 8 games out, it's not a death sentence. It's a challenge. And this team, they've been punched in the mouth all year, and they're still standing. So what's next? Well, we take it one series at a time. We scoreboard watch like lunatics. We root for absolute chaos, because if the Yankees lose a step, if Toronto stumbles, if Boston melts in the August heat, there's a lane opening up. And guess who's got the guts to take it? The team everyone's counted out. The team playing in a minor league stadium. The team with Nick Kurtz moon-blasting walk-offs and Mason Miller breaking radar guns. The A's may have the second toughest road, but the fight in this clubhouse is tougher than any schedule. So buckle up. This ain't over. It's actually just getting really, really good. What's up, D35? We're getting healthy. Bring it on. Yeah, we are getting healthy. We are getting better. Like I mentioned at the Open, right? Tonight's the biggest game. Tonight's going to say a lot about who this team is. Did you flea market floppy? I predicted Lopez is going to be the next Sean Manaea. Career under 3 in the minors. Hopefully he can still. So, did you predict that, flea market? I don't remember you predicting that, bud. Did you do that? It's a good call on Manaea. They have similar delivery, similar type of velocity, different statures, obviously, but it's a pretty good call as far as a comparison. The swinging A's, bring it. I love it, Cage. I love it, bud. Yeah. We're going to find out who this team is tonight. We really are. We do what we're supposed to do against a guy like Jason Alexander. I'm going to have some hope. I am more nervous about tonight's game than I have been about any game all season long, because it shows who this team is. It really shows who the identity of this team is. You're saying, Boonie, it's one baseball game. Don't overreact. No, it's a big deal tonight. We're going against a pitcher who's gettable, right? Coming off a big win in a situation where we have to have a sense of urgency. Jason Alexander's gotten rocked around the park all year long. If there's one guy that's gettable, it's him. We don't get tonight's game. We don't perform. Nothing else matters. Tonight is a must win. You might as well call tonight an elimination game. I'm being dead serious. That's how I feel about it. It shows the identity of this team. To me, tonight's an elimination game. We don't win. Forget about playoffs. Forget about wild card. Forget about nothing. Tonight is a gettable game. Tonight is a game we have to have. And if we are tough, and if we're resilient, if we come into it, and if we're together, and if we come in with a sense of urgency, we take care of business. Good teams don't lose games like tonight. Good teams don't lose games like tonight. Me too, Sam. Me too. I won't be able to watch it till after, so I'm pissed. I got to go out. Ugh, I don't want to talk about that. But, yeah, have to have it. Have to have it. That's all I'll say. Have to have it. Body language is looking better all around. Yes and no. Yes and no. It's easy with body language when we're winning games. There's still a couple things I'm seeing. But again, Houston's not putting up a lot of runs, and the top of the batting lineup will show up. I hope you're right, D35. We got a great pitching performance last night from Spence, from Ginn, from Miller, all phenomenal. Can JP Sears keep it going? Can JP Sears keep that going? So the best players are clutch when it's on the line. Yeah, good call, post-pandemic chronicles, for sure. For sure. I don't know. There's just no sugarcoating tonight. There's no sugarcoating it, guys. We'll see what happens. Excited about it. Can't wait. Won't be here for post-game. Next post-game will be next week. might come on here early tomorrow morning before I take off out of town, but it's probably way too early for you guys. Anyway, guys, hey, let's get one tonight, huh? Let's get one. I'll see you guys. Thank you for making Locked On A's your... Oh, shit.